The jury has headed in for deliberation, and hopefully I'm trying to post this video as quick as possible today so I could try and get it out prior to them making their decision. Will it happen today? I don't know. We will see. I have a feeling that we're probably not going to find out the verdict until tomorrow. I might be completely wrong. It might have already come out by the time this video posts, and Trump actually had quite a bit to say on truth prior to them going in for deliberation. Here is his post at 8 o'clock this morning. Kangaroo Court. A corrupt and conflicted judge reliance on counsel, advise of counsel, not allowed by Merchant, A first. His rulings on a case that should, according to all legal scholars and experts, never have been brought. Have made this a Biden-pushed witch hunt. There was no crime except for the bum that got caught stealing from me. In God we trust. Now, the Democrat side, Joe Biden is saying that he has had no involvement in this whatsoever. Same with the Justice Department, pretty much saying, hey, we have no involvement on this. This is 100% on Judge Merchan. We didn't talk to him prior to the case. We didn't handpick him or coerce New York into handpicking this guy for the trial. It is a little weird, though, how he did oversee so many of these cases, seeing his ties to the Democrat Party through him and then also through his daughter. Check out the article right here in the Epic Times. Potential misconduct complaint filed against judge overseeing Trump trial. Rep. Elise Stefanik, Republican of New York, filed a complaint against the judge overseeing former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York, alleging that his selection in the former president's case wasn't random. The potential misconduct pertains to the repeated assignment of acting Justice Juan Merchan, a Democrat Party donor, to criminal cases related to President Donald J. Trump and his allies. Ms. Stefanik, who has been reportedly aiming to become the former president's vice presidential pick, wrote in a letter Tuesday. She added that Judge Merchan also presided over the criminal trial against the Trump Organization and will be presiding over the criminal trial of Steve Bannon, who was a senior advisor to the former president while he was in the White House. Ms. Stefanik noted in her letter that there are about 36 judges eligible to oversee the Trump-related cases, but Judge Merchan, who is also an acting justice, was selected for 3 of the cases related to the former president and presumptive Republican nominee for the White House in 2024. If justices were indeed being randomly assigned to the criminal term, the probability of 2 specific criminal cases being assigned to the same justice is quite low, and the probability of 3 specific criminal cases being assigned to the same judge is infinitesimally small. And yet we see acting Justice Merchan on all 3 cases, she wrote. Her letter made reference to Judge Merchan's donation to the Democrat Party and President Joe Biden, while adding his daughter is in charge of a consulting company that works with Democrat officials. One cannot help but suspect that the random selection at work in the assignment of acting Justice Merchan, a Democrat Party donor, to these cases involving prominent Republicans is in fact not random at all, the lawmaker added in her letter. Let's just say this right now, seeing how Les Stefanik and there's many Republicans who are going after this judge, saying that he was not randomly picked. He was picked because they knew that he would attack Trump because of his bias. If we do see this jury come out and say that Trump is guilty of all charges or even some of the charges, and they say, you know, the Republicans are going after him. Look at this. This is the Republicans. They're the tyrants. Justice has been served, and now the Republicans are trying to reverse course because they are tyrants. But think about this. The fact that Judge Merchan took on 3 of these cases involving Donald Trump, Steve Bannon being a part of that, that is not random whatsoever. They knew that Judge Merchan, whether it be talks behind doors or even just knowing who he is and who his daughter is, he was somehow handpicked for these cases. That in itself is tyranny. That is a kangaroo court. And you got so many people out there saying how Trump is the tyrant, that he is the one who is going to be going after all of his political enemies. Just like that jackass Robert De Niro. Plus, side note, what the hell does this guy have to do with anything going on with Trump? Why is the Biden administration putting him up front and center to speak on this case?
The Democrats, you are gangsters.
Excuse me.
You are gangsters.
The guy's a complete psycho, but he said on Bill Maher not too long ago, talking about how Trump's going to be the tyrant. He's going to be arresting anyone who disagrees with him.
If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
Real quick, guys, I will get back into this conversation, but first things first, if you do love this content or if you do want to follow along, kind of see what I ramble about in any future events to come, do do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Maybe give me a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time that I put out a new video. Let's get back to this topic right now. This election come November is going to be the clearest case to how one president rules as compared to another president. And I'm just going to ask you guys right now, because I know there's probably going to be a lot of lefties out there who are watching this. What did Trump do during his first term that made him a tyrant? Okay, now think back to this right now. What is Biden doing right now to act like a tyrant? Because it's weird that after Biden's in, all these cases get brought against Trump, most of them within a couple of years of the election. It sounds to me like you guys kind of got it backwards a little bit. Not to mention that the Biden administration is allowing illegal immigrants at record levels come across the southern border. That is one of his main jobs in the executive branch, is to protect this country. When there is an invasion at the southern border and they're saying, oh, you know what? The immigration system, that's why this is all happening. We need to fix the immigration system. No, the border is wide open. Close the damn border. Outside of also having his minions attack Trump with all these bogus charges, how about the student loan bailouts? Even though the Supreme Court said, you cannot do this, this is not constitutional, and he does it anyways. So who is the actual tyrant when we are talking about this, guys? Because you can sit there and claim all day long that Trump's going to do these things. We already had a Trump presidency. Guess what? America was freaking awesome at that time. The economy was great. Gas prices were low. Inflation was low. Everyone was thriving. There was not wars happening all over the globe. There was so much peace happening. And as soon as Biden gets in, all this crap happens. And everyone's like, you know what? It's not Biden's fault. He deserves another 4 years to try and fix the problems that they claim Trump caused, even though this is all because of Biden. You know, I was actually going to do a whole video on this, but I think it really pertains to this right now because there are so many who are kind of going back and forth on how they should vote come this November. Here's the thing, is we have been taught to be divided as either Republicans or Democrats. And then you have those, moderates who kind of go both ways. I'd say the majority of moderates really are more Democrats than they are Republicans. And they have those self-proclaimed libertarians. Here's the thing about the Libertarian Party is there's no way they're going to win. They pretty much just want to make as much money as possible every 4 years. What was it, like Gary Johnson, where they got the most with 3% or something like that? The new guy that they nominated for president is all about open borders and LGBTQ and IA+, all that crap right there. But here's the thing, is if we aren't divided into these different parties and we just voted for America, voted as an American, so why do we have to label ourselves under the R or under the D, under the L, any of these things, Green Party, it doesn't matter. Why can't we just vote as Americans? Which person do I think has America's interest best in mind? And then past that, how about you throw some logic into this? Because a lot of you who might own a business, the last thing you want to do is get into a business that you know is not going to succeed. So why would you know if there's someone who's pulling 3% like the Libertarians guy? I mean, I highly doubt he's going to get 3%. But if you know that there's not a chance in hell that he's going to win, why would you vote for him? You're like, it's all based off principle. I cannot in any case vote for Donald Trump whatsoever. Okay, well then you can't complain about inflation. If Biden gets back in, you cannot complain about a future potential for World War III. You cannot complain about those things because you decide to vote on principle. My principle personally is I am a father. I am a husband. We have businesses that we're trying to be successful in. I am going to vote as an American for the person who gets America flourishing the best way possible, who is all about excelling this economy to levels that we've never seen before, who is about making us the power that we used to be in regards to our military. Because when you have a strong America, when you have a strong leader in place, wars do not happen. Think about how many wars started up after Biden got in office. Ukraine and Russia. You got Hamas and Israel. You got Iran getting involved into that. You got the Houthis in the Red Sea. You got all these different things that happened after Biden got in. You got the border with the invasion at the border, all this stuff. But yet you sit here and claim that Trump is going to be the tyrant, that he is not the one who's best for America moving forward. Any person in their right mind could look between both of these guys and figure out who was better for this country, who was better for your household, who was better for your kids. But some people are just so divided in the R and D that it's not going to matter. So let's see what these jurors come out with their decision. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. Some are saying that there's one person in there who's really going to be voting on a moral basis, more so than the fact that their hatred for the orange man that's sitting in that seat right now. I don't know. The only thing I'm really worried about is the fact that I can get this video out to you guys prior to that jury coming out with a decision. So thank you so much for following along. I greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you on the next one.